Yo, what's up? This is Billy from Biohazard. Check out the new record, Divided We Fall, on CMS TV. Peace.
It is your classic metal show right here on the classicmetalshow.com from their debut release, Appetite for Destruction. That is Guns N' Roses with my Michelle. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard Def Leppard with some Paper Sun, and the prodigal son of the classic metal show who returned in 2012, my good friend and partner, Chris Akin. What's going on, Chris?
It's hard to believe that that is like twice as long as I was on the first time.
I know, but you've had no interference being on the show the second time around.
No, there's been nobody to tape notes on the window or nothing.
No grief has been sent your way aside from the hateful social media rhetoric that you seem to filter out.
Yeah, other than the YouTube dummies that tell us how stupid we are every week about every subject. So,
well, of course, of course, I have a feeling that they probably have multicolor hair and they're those type of people.
Nothing makes me happier than when I go and I look at the comments on our YouTube shit, and there'll be two comments with the total opposite opinions, and both of them say that we're stupid.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter what we say.
Well, again, haters are just haters.
Yeah.
It just really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
They don't even have to have a point. All they have to do is just go in there and just say some hateful comment.
Yeah. And in this world,
that's it.
And in this world, the music world, the white knights are everywhere for every band.
Yeah.
Every single band. I can't believe how much shit we got from the Phil Lewis stuff.
Oh, really? Just because we were just questioning what the look was he was going for?
Yeah, because we said, "What is this look?" There's people in that chat going, "That's a good look today. That suit is hot." That's what people are. There's that comment. There's the comment of, "Look at you two douchebags judging other douchebags on what they look like." The fat guy looks like a caveman. He doesn't look anything near as good as Phil Lewis. Oh, they're all out there.
Yeah, but there's a point to all that. Phil Lewis has an image that we've all got to know over the last 4 decades, and it's just a little bit of a weird transition. That's all. I mean, you and I are not world-renowned public stars like a Phil Lewis.
Yeah, not
so our look does not matter.
Yeah,
but he has a distinct persona
that's been part of what LA Guns is the look.
Yeah, right. The Hollywood vampire look.
Yeah,
that's all. That's it.
Mm-hmm. It's so dumb. I literally just laugh. And the locals people know. I almost every single day now I copy something out and I'm like, here's another YouTube dummy. Boom.
Right.
And I just put it in for the locals people so they can see the fucking idiots we're dealing with.
Well, again, this is somebody who probably doesn't even listen to the show or listen to the point that's even being made or anything. Yeah. It's just I have to just go in there and just say
bitch.
And say something shitty.
Yeah. Just like there was 2 different comments on 2. Remember, I think I said this last week or the week before, whatever. I talked about how I was going to start putting up the full segments, but they're heavily edited.
So there's a lot of skipping and a lot of stuttering and a lot of disjointed audio.
It's a terrible way to watch our show.
It's awful.
But if you're determined to watch it on YouTube, it's there. And I ain't going to lie, it paid my electric bill this month, so I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Fine. Keep watching. Keep saying how stupid we are. You paid my electric bill. Thank you, cocksucker. But what was hilarious about it now is all the people that have been led into this dumb channel, this fucking shit YouTube channel.
Yes.
By the little 5-minute clips.
Okay.
Now the things are 35 minutes to get to the topic. Yes.
Now it's too long.
Yeah, now it's too long.
Okay.
Before it was too short, Before it was, I want to watch the whole show. Now it's other guys that are like, this is way too long. Just edit your shit. Like, okay.
You can't please everybody.
Can't please anybody.
No.
I don't care. At this point, I just don't care. YouTube is such a shithole. Have at it, people.
It might as well be Haiti.
Yeah, might as well be.
So funny. I'm glad you deal with that, because I certainly don't see any of that nonsense. I don't look for it. I don't care. I have zero interest in perusing those comments and so on and so forth. I just don't have, I just don't, number one, I don't really have the time for it. Number two, it's counterproductive for me.
Yeah. See, I'm just so used to being hated that it's just part of the game. I've spent my whole life being the guy that people hate.
Right.
So this is no different. These guys that think they're going to somehow ruffle my feathers or something. You know how many times, like, I do love the fat comment. Like, I don't know. Like, that's news to me. You're a fat fuck. What? You're kidding me. I thought I was in great shape. I had no idea. But you know how many times I have heard this from.
Well, you know who was a perfect example of that?
Who
was Patrice O'Neill?
Yeah.
And he would call somebody out for being fat or whatever. Well, what about you? He says, I know I'm fat, but it doesn't mean I don't have eyes.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the case may be, but he always had a good retort.
But that's the same, like, again, going back to this Phil Lewis thing.
Yeah.
How can you fucking ugly fucks look and say that Phil looks bad?
Nobody said he looked bad.
I'll say it. He looks bad. You know what? I can be ugly and say someone else is ugly too.
Again,
just because I'm an ugly mess doesn't make you better.
That's kind of the point that Patrice was always making. Yeah. It's just like, I know I'm a mess.
Yeah.
He said, but that doesn't mean you're not.
Mm-hmm. I know I look like a caveman. I got it. I get it. I choose that look on purpose. You think I don't own one pair of scissors? Do you think that? You think I couldn't snip this shit off if I really wanted to?
Right.
You think I couldn't hire a trainer to get me in shape if I really wanted to?
Right.
I don't give a fuck. But I'm certainly going to judge. That's a whole nother thing. We're too fucking ugly to be judging any of these chicks that we judge. Okay. We're too fucked up for that too.
All right.
It's like, okay, whatever. I'm going to keep doing it. Don't watch the channel. Please block the channel. Block everything that we're on. Block all of our channels so that you're sure you don't get infiltrated by the fat guy saying somebody else is fat or ugly or whatever. Feel free to block us, you dickbags.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's never ending.
Right. Well, again, regardless of how beloved you are, there's always going to be a hater out there. Always. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, I think it goes the other way. No matter how hated you are, there's one that likes you. And I think the number is like 10,000 haters for one that likes you. And that's probably about right. We do.
All right.
We do like 2,000 live plays on this show when we go live each week, roughly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'd say 1,800 of them hate us.
All right.
I would say that they hate watch us.
Really?
Oh yeah. You think they invented another show off into the netherworlds because we're so good? They just want to fucking hate. So hate. Go ahead.
Get the hate out of your system.
Or keep it in. Keep bringing it. I don't give a fuck.
That's funny.
Because you don't matter. That's always my thing is people don't matter.
Right.
I am always fascinated by the people that do take it very seriously. Mm-hmm. That are really, and it's like, these are fucking blips on my screen. That's it. They're not in my life. They're blips on my screen. Why am I going to worry about that shit? Who cares? So dumb.
Well, again, I'm glad you're the one who fields those comments and so on and so forth, and gets a good chuckle. I like hearing about it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I certainly don't and obviously I'm not scrolling through social media and all that shit. I just don't have it in me to do that. I just don't have the wherewithal to sit there and look at that garbage.
Look at our chat room. He's big boned. He's full figured. No, he's not. He's fat.
Right.
He likes pizza and pasta more than he likes lifting weights and exercising. I'm a fat fuck. I know it. Who cares? Why does anybody else care? That's the part I always laugh at. Why would anyone else give a shit if I'm a fat fuck?
Right.
Why does anybody care? How does that affect them? It doesn't. They just need to say something. I'll show him. I'll teach him. I'll tell him what a fat fuck he is. Ah,
yeah.
See?
That's funny.
It's too fun. It's too, dude. What's funny is, then you get, I don't know, you certainly don't get this. I get this a lot. I'll start talking to somebody that I am friends with, and they'll say something about somebody else being a fat fuck. And they'll be like, then they like back it up a little bit. They're like, I don't mean you. And I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck.
That's funny.
We talk about Jelly Roll or something, and be like, oh, that fat fuck too. Not you. I get it. I can be fat and he can be fat.
Right. That's funny. That's funny.
Too good.
Well, I'm glad you had a fulfilling week looking at all the hateful comments.
Yeah.
But
that's about it.
I actually took part in watching some television this week.
What?
I was in the mood to turn on the TV after, I probably haven't really watched much TV in a couple of months.
Okay.
But I was in a mood to watch documentaries this week.
Okay.
And I told you about one, but you said you'd already seen it. I always like to watch the music documentaries.
Sure.
Regardless if I'm a fan of the band or the artist or whatever. I just like to, just from a human interest standpoint.
Right. And
one popped up on the screen this week. It was on Paramount Plus. I was watching the Dutton Ranch.
Yeah.
And then on the screen, I saw that there was this documentary on Elvis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Epic.
Yeah, Epic. Elvis live in concert.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot of backstage footage and rehearsal footage and, discussion with Elvis. I really, aside from the most popular lore of Elvis, I know who he is, obviously, and, what he looks like and stuff. But from a personal standpoint, just from the most popular things that people know about Elvis, I really didn't know a whole lot about Elvis,
Sure. They've done a good job of curating his legacy. They really have. You don't know anything except what they wanted you kind of to know. Right.
And this documentary, as you're well aware, it was all raw footage, obviously of, live. And what they did was they took footage of Elvis and his band rehearsing for his Las Vegas residency and working up the songs and, working out the different ways that they were going to do it. They didn't always go in the most traditional way a song was originally sung or something. He would just kind of do a little ad-libbing in there a little bit. And they were showing how he was working out the songs with his band and working up the set list. And, then they have just kind of a chat with him a little bit and ask him questions about, some of his background and what his love for music is and all. And it was very interesting. And I think the thing that stood out for me, and if you're interested in watching this documentary, like I said, it's on Paramount Plus. And his sense of humor. Yeah. That guy seemed like he had a really good sense of humor. It looks like he was pretty much cutting up all the time.
Yeah, just out having fun.
Yeah, so, even during rehearsals, he wasn't one of these intense guys that would get pissed off if, his bass player didn't play the note right, or his guitarist didn't, come in at the right time or anything, he would just
Right.
make a joke about it,
Mm-hmm.
or just kind of laugh about it, or, just be funny. And then, of course, during the performance, when he was performing for, the crowd at what was the International Hotel in Las Vegas?
I think
Was it
so, yeah.
something like that? I don't think it's there anymore. But, he just seemed to have like a really fun time just
Right.
doing what he did.
Mhm.
It wasn't a job for him. He genuinely looked like he was just having fun and joking
Sure.
with the audience and cutting up with his band. And, and the other thing that kind of stood out for me was the size of his band, along with all the backing musicians
Oh, yeah.
and the backing vocalists.
Yeah.
And,
It was like an
all that.
orchestra.
Yeah, it was. It was huge. He had a huge, performance.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, I don't know what kind of money, back then. This was obviously probably like a late,
71, maybe.
early to mid 70s performance,
Mm-hmm.
because you could see he was on the cusp of starting to put on the weight, because
he was-
he
was
starting
almost
to get-
Fat Elvis,
Yeah, he was getting the round face going on and everything.
right?
But it was actually a fun watch,
Mhm.
just to see him just doing his shtick and being Elvis.
Yeah.
He was being Elvis all the time, with his clothes, and his capes, and
Mhm.
just being a performer. He obviously loved being a performer, and
It
did
was
a
his
good
only
job.
time that he could interact with people,
Right.
other than the whatever that mafia was called, the
Yeah, the Memphis Mafia.
Memphis Mafia, But yeah, I mean, I've watched several documentaries on Elvis, including the shit where he went to the White House and visited with Richard
President
Nixon
Nixon.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's kind of the overwhelming message that you get if you watch several of them, is that Elvis was seemed like he was a fun guy, and he was a shy guy at first. Like as a kid, when he was young, he was shy.
Right.
And then he could never really break it because he could never be around people. They kind of, from the documentaries I've seen, they always sort of say that the best time in his life was when he served in the military, because he got treated a lot more normal than anywhere else. He still had to make his bed, and he still had to, run and stuff like that. He couldn't say, yeah, not today, I'm Elvis. He couldn't get away with it. But when you watch, like even that documentary you're talking about, almost all of the cutting up and everything is with the same 10 guys, the mafia, the Memphis Mafia.
Right.
Because there was nobody around that guy other than those guys and Colonel Tom. And that's it.
Colonel Parker. Yeah.
Yep. That's the only people that he was around. And it's kind of sad, because he was really he was like the most famous guy in probably the last 50 years of the 2000 or of the 19s, don't you think?
Yeah,
He's got to be
absolutely.
one of the top 5 most famous people from 1900 to 2000. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
He's very recognizable. I mean, he's recognizable worldwide. His image is recognizable.
Sure.
To see him, everybody knows who's Elvis. Whether you know his music or know his background or anything, you just recognize Elvis, just like Marilyn Monroe or a James Dean or
Exactly.
any one of them.
and
Whether
he's
you know
way
anything
bigger than
about-
them. Way bigger than them.
Mhm.
You know what else is weird about Elvis? I don't know how we're into Elvis, but
Well, because we're talking about
because we're talking about the documentary. Yeah.
Right.
Isn't it weird that as popular as Elvis was, and I mean, he was popular,
Yes.
his music did not carry. He's not really you don't hear him much on the oldies stations. You don't hear him, like you hear Pink Floyd a million times more than you do Elvis.
Yeah, but Elvis didn't keep up with like the times and do popular music.
No, but I mean, you would think that some of that stuff could play on classic or oldies radio or something.
Yeah, like if you had like a 50s or 60s station, maybe.
Yeah. But even that, Matt, what was that guy's name that did the oldie show right after CMS and STB? Bill Weisinger.
Sunday Oldies Jukebox.
Yeah. I don't ever remember him playing Elvis.
He may not have. I don't know.
think he did. Because I used to listen to him going home. I would be going home from Streetsboro, so I would turn that on and I'd listen to him playing, Herman's Hermits or whatever the fuck he was playing.
Right.
And it was never Elvis. Elvis, for some reason, I would have thought that, like his version of My Way or Falling in Love with You, and I Can't Help.
Right.
I would have thought some of that stuff would carry over to modern oldies radio, and it really does. Even when I listen to it on Spotify, Elvis almost never comes up. It's really weird.
It is. It's interesting. And the other thing is watching the live concert footage. How the women were just going nutty over this guy. I mean, giving him full on
open mouth kisses,
deep tongue kisses. And he going from one woman to another. Just giving them all mouth to mouth resuscitation.
Yeah,
wow.
There's another doc out there of him. It's another one of these with the backstage footage things. And I just remember they're leading him out, and he's literally going, "You got any women for me at the hotel?" and the guys are like, yeah, we're gonna get that taken care of. And he's like, "That woman you got me last night, she could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch. Get me one of like her." And he was totally just, and I loved it. I remember I saw, my mom's a big Elvis fan, and I was watching this Elvis documentary at her house with her, and he said that, and I'm laughing, and she's giving me the evil eye, because I thought it was funny, but but my mom was one of them Elvis groupie chicks. My mom, she has a scarf. She got a scarf at a show.
All right, very good.
So her and my dad, or her, I don't know how that happened, but they must have paid the extra money to get the up close seat to get the scarf. I mean, you had to be in the first row to get that.
Right.
But yeah, she has an Elvis scarf that she got at a show in 1975 or something.
All right, cool.
I remember when he died like, what is it, August 19th or something?
Yeah, it's 77.
Yeah. My mom cried had to be a week. Remember me and my brother, we were little kids. We're drawing pictures of Elvis to try and make her feel better. We're like making these little drawings. Like, here, Mom, Elvis is still the king.
Right.
I'm going to have to ask her if she still has them. If she still has them, I'll see if I can't get them and bring them to the show.
That's funny. Well, again, I was only 13 when he passed away, so I really didn't know a whole lot about him aside from just the most popular stuff about Elvis.
Sure.
So watching that was just a lot of fun. I just enjoyed watching him interact with his band, and again, always joking and laughing and cutting up all the time. He just was, even during the performances, he was, making jokes and singing alternative lyrics to some of his songs, to make a goofy joke or something.
Right. Trying to, going off into weird places with the lyrics and whatever, he'd be like, he'd be singing a lyric and then he would just start mumbling something. He'd be like, "And I can't help. Hey, is that a beer defender over there? I need a beer. Bring one over here. Falling in love." He would do shit like that.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed that documentary.
Yeah, it's good.
And then another documentary that our good friend Jim Florentine mentioned on his Everybody's Awful podcast that I as soon as I heard him talk about it on Monday, I turned on the TV so I could watch it. Maternal Instinct.
Yeah, I watched it too.
Just a horrific story. Horrific.
Can't they just put her down?
Oh,
honestly.
Well, isn't she on death row?
Not good enough.
Not because she's got to go now.
Yes, they should have put a bullet in her mouth. They should have literally, as they were reading the verdict, been installing a gun in her mouth.
Right.
And just as soon as they were done reading the verdict, just pull the trigger.
And just march her out and just, that's it.
That woman was evil on a different level.
Right.
on a very different level.
Well, if you want to know what we're talking about, there's a documentary on Netflix called Maternal Instinct, and I'll try to sum it up. It's a woman driven by social media popularity, hooks up with a guy. She had 2 children from a previous relationship, and
Right.
after her second child, because she didn't want any more children, she had a hysterectomy.
Right.
And all the people that knew her and was familiar with her knew that she had a hysterectomy. Well, she hooked up with a new guy,
Right.
and she knew that this guy was probably going to give her the boot pretty soon because she was just more or less a pain in the ass. This
You're
guy,
not painting the whole picture, though. The guy was a bumpkin.
yeah, well,
And
yeah,
that's important.
well, that is true. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, just kind of a country bumpkin guy.
Yeah, he's a pig farmer.
Yeah, well, he trapped feral hogs. Is
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah. No, but he was too dumb to realize what was going on.
So in order to try to save the relationship or keep the relationship, she faked a pregnancy. To the point to where, he didn't know her history. He didn't know her past history as far as
Right.
like her hysterectomy or anything. And he basically bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
Everybody in his family and his orbit, was on board with this chick having his child, but her friends who knew her,
Right.
that did not live in the area, but they saw her social media post about her being pregnant and everything. They're like, she can't be pregnant. She had a hysterectomy.
How, dude, you know what was the most telling to me in that scenario? And I'll stop and let you keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
When they went to, she was showing the pictures of the ultrasounds on her social media,
Yeah.
and the hospital people knew that that was bullshit.
Yeah, they were tracking her too
Yeah, but they couldn't say anything
because
of HIPAA laws.
Right.
So they knew she was full of shit. They knew that she was probably committing crime, but they couldn't do anything about it. That was crazy.
Yep. Privacy laws.
Yep.
So anyway, without giving the whole story away, she had to figure out a way to have a baby. And I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, it's well worth, first of all, 2 reasons it's well worth the watch. One, because that person is so sickening, you almost have to experience it just to know how sick the world is. And 2, it's only 1 part. I did like that. That is just 1 hour and a half and done.
Right.
That makes it good. J-Rad, I can't watch that doc Neely is discussing. Way too disturbing. It's disturbing.
It is disturbing. And the other thing is, and this is where the YouTube haters can come in. Her family or his family, when they were, interviewing them about her, they were talking about what a beautiful woman she was and this and that. She was a pig.
Well, he was a farmer.
I know, but she was a piggy. She was a piggy girl.
You know what though, dude? And I'm not disagreeing with you. She was definitely a fucking fat chick. But there was pictures when they first met when she looked okay. Not great, but not fat. She looked 20 over.
Yeah, but the way that they talked about her is like she was a model.
She was a model. Yeah, I know. She was no model.
It's like I wouldn't touch that with a 20-foot pole.
She could have modeled for his pig traps.
But yeah, so thank you, Jim Florentine, for that.
Yes.
I had to watch that right away.